Hello all my Kenvians and welcome to a new episode of Discovering Classic Doctor Who. As always, I apologize for the delay in getting another one of these out. I've been extremely busy and it's easier to do Steven Universe videos. They're 12, each episode is 12 minutes long, and it's easier to do, but I am getting back in the swing of things with this, and today, if the title of the video didn't give it away, I'm actually going to be watching one version of two that I'm going to be doing videos on for Marco Polo, a lost story for the original Doctor's first series? I'm not exactly sure how to refer to it at this point, but yeah, Marco Polo, a 7-part series that was unfortunately lost. A lot of the audio was thankfully kept, whether it was recorded by fans or, it was audio that was still kept by the studio. But regardless, what I'm going to be watching today is a feature on the Doctor Who The Beginning DVD set, and it's approximately 30 minutes long, and it's a very condensed version of the Marco Polo story. Now, the reason I'm doing this, as opposed to the full 7 parts on this, is this is going to be sort of an adventure for me. It's like, really going back to, I guess you would say, the roots of this series when I started it, which was like discovering something new, trying something I hadn't tried before. And this is part of a reconstruction, again, only 30 minutes long. But after watching this, I feel like I'll get a good idea of the overall story of Marco Polo, and then I'm going to be returning with another video, possibly two, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it yet, of the reconstruction of Marco Polo, all 7 parts. Now for that, since it's all entirely reconstruction and 7 episodes long, like primarily just audio, reaction won't really be able to be a major part of it, I don't think. I guess it'll just kind of depend on how the recording goes. But again, this is going to be my first venture into it, and then I'm going to give those other episodes a try. Or, well, the reconstruction of the 7 episodes a try, just to... I don't know, I'm interested to see how this turns out, and hopefully you all enjoy it too. So, without any further ado, let's begin Marco Polo, the Doctor's 4th story? Yeah, the 4th story after the Edge of Destruction. I think that's the right name. Yes, after the Edge of Destruction. And let's check out this special condensed reconstruction of Marco Polo. And go. The Edge of Destruction was followed by a 7-part adventure, Marco Polo. In common with many Doctor Who stories of the 1960s, the recordings were subsequently wiped. Fortunately, the off-air soundtrack survives, together with production stills and off-screen photos called telesnaps. This presentation is a condensed version of Marco Polo and draws upon many of the surviving photographs from the story. But still using the Doctor Who theme.
I wonder if only...
The volume might be a little bit high.
We're always in trouble. Isn't this extraordinary? It follows us everywhere.
It follows you everywhere, Doctor.
There's no sucking this bunch itself to a cinder. You expect to find fuel here,
Good God. I'm gonna guess that's Marco Polo?
He's an evil spirit. I command you in the name of Kublai Khan.
I like his hair.
Caravan is further down the path. Come on, Doctor.
It's very David Tennant-esque. Hi.
2 years ago, my father, my uncle, and I asked the Khan for permission to go home. He refused. I think we had all served him too well.
Khan!
What this has to do with my repairing the TARDIS? Influence at court, and the Khan suffers from an affliction for which there is no cure.
What's that?
Old age. If he dies, I may never see him. stronger than Hannibal, mightier than Alexander the Great.
Marco, you don't understand.
I refuse to listen to any more. My mind is made up. Your caravan goes with me to Kublai Khan.
The zooms are weird. I don't know why, but they're very unsettling.
Careful, my lord. Return to the caravan to collect the thing of magic and bring the mighty Kublai Khan to his knees.
So, go to the caravan to collect the caravan for the Khan!
I have taken charge of the travelers and it will be locked and the key handed over to me.
Young man, you have no concept of what is happening, have you? And you still don't seem to realize that you're speaking to a man of superior intellect.
As they use one of the craziest looking pictures of him ever.
Despite the doctor's protests that the key and his caravan...
I have something to give you. What is it? This...
The thing you were just discussing.
But you promised me, Marco. One of us would be on the way home.
That was a weird one.
The other woman? Yes. Tell them to come out.
No.
Come on.
Okay, fine.
Tomorrow morning at dawn we ride to Shangtu. The next you see your caravan will be at the Great Khan's summer palace, and that will make an end of it.
So if they're headed to Shang 2, what happened to Shang 1?
We left.
Why not go all the way to Shang 3?
By dusk it covered 40 miles. As this is
I apologize for that.
Accommodation is not hard to find.
Talk to Marco. I've done nothing else but talk to Marco.
Oh, Marco. Ian wants a word with you.
Marco, you must give us back the TARDIS.
Look, I've told you before, Ian. You know what this caravan means.
Bit of a-
If I get the car, he'll let me go home.
But we want to go home too.
Bit of an
Marco.
editing
And we can't go
strangeness
home without the
there.
TARDIS.
I have offered to take you back to bed.
Hello?
Yes,
Are you with the caravan, my lord?
I am, my lady.
Is your caravan bound for Samarkand?
It might.
Why? I would like to journey with your caravan, unless it is going to Shang. I can't pay.
Come to...
No, it was all the money I had.
Haven't I seen you before? Not long since. I know. 4,000 white stallions and 25 tigers.
That's not too bad.
So. And the sacred tooth of Buddha, which Polo brought home from India.
Oh, that. Oh, what else? What more?
This is adorable.
I'm afraid all these colonies Burma. 1 year. Oh, she will be waiting for you to tell your friends in Venice.
No, my lord.
Yay!
They would not believe half the things that I have seen in Cathay. But what is the truth? I wonder where they are now. The past? Or the future?
Among the Stars. Next episode, The Sea of Death. Alright. Well then. Well, first of all, if you're watching this on YouTube, you have seen an extremely abbreviated version of my reaction here. I will be uploading the full reaction onto Dailymotion. If it'll link in the description down below if you'd like to see that. I'll do a full reaction for this one anyway. The next one, it's hard to say. But that besides the point. Marco Polo. It's a really interesting little story there. One thing that jumps out to me, like, really more than anything, is when it comes to the costumes. Based on the still images alone, like, those were some pretty amazing costumes. Like, well, with the first story, when they were in the caveman era, I mean, pretty much all you have to do for a caveman outfit is look dirty and have animal hide on you, and boom, you're a caveman. And then with the Daleks, or what's the name of the story? Oh, it's just the Daleks. Okay, fine. With the Daleks, it's, I don't know, the futuristic outfits were interesting. Just kind of weird. They look like some of those weird costumes that you would see. Well, I mean, this was back in the 60s, so it's like, you know, some of the weird sci-fi outfits you would see in like movies or shows from the 60s or the 70s. Stuff along those lines. But the costumes for here, it looked legitimately like era appropriate. It seemed like they had a budget, like an actual budget for this one, which, you know, makes it all the more a shame that they don't have the original footage to have for this. But yeah, I mean, the costumes, the makeup, it's like everything that I saw on there. Well, okay, not everything. That's going to be a comment in a little bit, but a lot of the stuff I saw, it looked truly era appropriate. Again, at least based on images that I've seen from around that era, around the Marco Polo times, and images I've seen of like Mongols and some of the, at least one of the Khans. I remember seeing some pictures back in history class way back in the day. But yeah, everything looked appropriate from my perspective anyway. As for some interesting things, which I know weren't a big deal back in the 60s. The person playing the thief that stole the money from Ping Cho, again, I could be wrong in both of these characters, but both the guy, the thief, and the guy that had like the two zoom-ins on, we had two zoom-ins on his face before Ian showed up to take Ping Cho back. Like, just very much white guys doing not great impressions of Chinese people, or I forget the I forget the era, like what the area was called. They mentioned it a few times in the video, but yeah, oh man, that was bad. Maybe not quite as bad as Mickey Rourke doing a Chinese guy, which, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up, Mickey Rourke. Anyway, but yeah, those aside, I felt like the story was solid. I was legitimately interested in the audio that was going on there. I really want to watch the full version, or the full cut of the reconstructions now, because it just, I'm genuinely intrigued by the story, and I want to see like where the gaps in the story occurred, because they definitely trimmed a lot. I mean, 7 whole episodes trimmed down to 30 minutes. And a lot of it, I mean, I think they did an overall good job of putting it together and making it seem mostly seamless. There were definitely some instances that were not so seamless. Like when oh goodness, I'm forgetting her name. Barbara. When Barbara was talking to Ian and she says, "You should talk to Marco," and Ian says, "That's all I've been doing is talking to Marco." Like half a second later, "Hey Marco, we need to talk." It felt like kind of a problem befell them as far as the editing for that scene goes. But who knows, maybe if it actually is that quick of a transition when I watch the full version, it'll be even more hilarious, honestly. But yeah, I, as a whole, truly did enjoy this. I guess the kind of racist pantomimes aside for those two characters, The only other thing that does bother me is the fact that they're stuck there because one of the circuits in the TARDIS has fried. They don't have water, they can't do anything, there's no cooling, there's no heating, etc. But there's never, to the best of my knowledge, they never touch on the Doctor actually fixing the TARDIS. Like, he makes plans to. He makes plans to go into the TARDIS and fix it. But everything we see in the reconstruction here, he's being blocked from doing so. The only time he actually... The only 2 times he does get back in is when Pincho sneaks the key away. And maybe that's when the repair took place? That's the only sort of feasible answer I can see. Otherwise, they didn't get in again until the very end. And I don't think, like, given the rush with which things are happening, I don't think the Doctor could have fixed it in just that short amount of time. But maybe I'm wrong. That's another thing I'm looking forward to finding out when I watch the full versions, is just getting in some of those details. It'll be weird, admittedly, watching 7 entire episodes of mostly stills, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. Just based on this 30-minute version of it alone, it seems like a really good story, and I can't help but feel like it's a huge loss. The fact that they don't have, or that the footage for those episodes is lost. It seems like, compared to the very first episode and compared to several parts of the Daleks, like, that may be... This story probably was their actual best original story, or at least it has the potential to be so. Maybe I'm wrong. As the Daleks is definitely a more classically enjoyed first series as far as classic Doctor Who goes, but I feel like it has that possibility, and it's just... I'm sad that I can't see the true version of these episodes. But again, doing the stills, going through the full recreations, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I think I've said that like 3 times already. But yeah, everyone, please let me know your thoughts on this in the description down below. Let me know what you think of my thoughts on it. I'm genuinely interested to hear what you have to say, and whether or not, if you have seen Marco Polo, whether it's, you know, this shorter condensed version or the full version, I would like to hear what you have to say. I guess it's not a huge issue if you go into spoilers, just because, I mean, I did technically get the summary version of the story. But if you want to hold off on some major details of the story, perhaps, until I get the videos out where I'm covering the full recreations, not one by one, but, you know, however many episodes at a time, you know, that would be more ideal. But I'm looking forward to hearing what you all have to say. And once again, I'm looking forward to jumping into the full recreations here soon. Hopefully that will be happening sometime this week, if work allows me to. One of the reasons why I haven't been able to do a lot of videos, and why doing Steven Universe has been easier because of those very short episodes of 11 to 12 minutes, is I have worked really late a lot the last few weeks, and I was actually sick from stress a few days the past week, the week before this is actually going to come out. So yeah, all major stress and being overworked aside, I hope that I will be able to record those next episodes and get them out to you as soon as possible. But everyone, thank you very much for being here. If you're interested in watching episodes like this, as well as others, primarily episodes that aren't just stills, you know, mostly actual episodes. If you're interested in seeing those early, anywhere from a day to possibly a week ahead of time, you can go to the PapaKennMedia Patreon. There's a link in the description down below, as well as at the end of this video. And for as little as $1 a month, you can get access to videos like this, discovering Steven Universe, discovering Doctor Who when the new series starts back up. Yeah, if that interests you at all, give it a look. But if not, no worries. I just thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for watching this video, for leaving your comments, and for hopefully leaving a like, because it's always good to know that, you know, people out there are liking these videos. But I have rambled on long enough as usual. Everyone have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, whatever time it may be your time, and I will see you in the next episode of Discovering Classic Doctor Who.